What is going on, everybody? It's the Fonz, and we're here again for NXT review for April 3rd, 2019. We are 2 days away from the biggest NXT pay-per-view, or NXT TakeOver of all time, with NXT TakeOver New York. Why they did not stick with the Brooklyn name for Brooklyn, New York is beyond me, but it's the NXT TakeOver New York. Coming from the Barclays Center this coming Friday on the WWE Network. I am looking forward to this. Of course, we were supposed to have Johnny Gargano take on Tommaso Ciampa, but instead we're going to be getting Aleister Black. I'm sorry, not Aleister Black, but Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Usually, when we get to the go-home weeks of NXT Takeover for NXT Takeovers, you don't see like every person on Takeover in matches or anything. You usually see highlight packages or hype videos. You saw for you didn't really see it for the War Raiders because the War Raiders were in action tonight. You saw it for the Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle, Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. And the women's match didn't get the hype either because Shayna, Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane were both in action in the main event. And that match ended in the big schmoz because not only did the three of the four horsewomen come down to interfere, but Io Shirai came down as well, and everybody else in the women's locker room came down too. So that was pretty much that. And as usual, we see the video packages for majority of the matches. We also had a hype video for Volta versus Pete Dunne. Yes, I'm going to say Volta because that's the way people say it, so I'm just going to say it better than that, even though I know it's Walter, but it's Volta. The majority of the people who know who he is, so we're going to go with that. Again, good episode of NXT. We did see Jackson Ryker take on Oney Lorcan, which I did talk about, I believe, last week on Unscripted or a couple days ago. Oney Lorcan is part of NXT 205 Live now, where he is a heel for some reason. I don't know why he is a heel, but somewhere in Triple H's way he went, he made Oney Lorcan a heel on 205 Live. I'm not a fan of the fact that they're breaking up Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and after this goes through, this might be the last time we see Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch on NXT because Danny Burch will probably go and be a fixture on NXT UK while Oney Lorcan gets put on 205 Live. Do both of those guys deserve better than either one of them being on 205 Live? Yes, 110%. I agree that I think they do. But we had the War Raiders come out first. I like the new, because ever since NXT TakeOver Phoenix, they had the Viking horn and the castle scene, and it goes into a War Raiders thing with and the music and everything. I like that. So they started the show off. No promos, no nothing. Just we go straight into action against a bunch of jobbers. The War Raiders come down, and all you hear is "Let's go, jobbers" from the fans, because the fans don't hate the War Raiders. It's just they were just having a little bit of fun. This is what's great about Full Sail. Roll blast through both guys, throwing them all over the ring. Hanson tags in, hits a wheel kick. Roten lifts up, throws Hanson against one of their opponents. Pop-up power slam, and we all are done here. The War Raiders win by pinfall against two local bums. Post-match, though, Hanson says Aleister Black and Ricochet don't have to listen. They just need to watch. Out came Adrian Jaoud, and Cesar Bononi. And this was another match for the War Raiders. So the War Raiders were in action twice tonight. Hanson tries for a big punch, doesn't do much as Hanson hits him with a big lariat. I'm sorry. This was written wrong. One of the other guys tried to hit him with it, but he hits him with a lariat. Rowe with a knee strike to Giroud's face. Rowe with the body slam. Hanson onto Bononi. Rowe with a power slam powerbomb on both of his opponents, and they pick up Bononi. Hanson with a leg drop off the top rope for the victory. And there you go. War Raiders won again. Nothing much there, just showing the power of the War Raiders. I feel that Aleister Black and Ricochet are going to pose a little bit more threat, and this is, of course, going to be Black and Ricochet's final match in NXT. So, coming out of NXT TakeOver New York, we will have the tag team championships will stay the same. Should be a great match and a great send-off for Aleister Black and Ricochet, and the War Raiders will have that nice rub for beating two guys who are going to be actually going for the SmackDown Live tag team titles at WrestleMania 2 nights later. We see a vignette hyping the UK Championship match between Pete Dunne and Volta at NXT TakeOver New York. We see clips of Dunne's long NXT Championship reign and Volta's debut at NXT UK TakeOver UK, at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool, and Dunne wanting his next challenge to be Volta. Now, Pete Dunne is close to 700 days at 685 as of this recording. He will be at 687 when we get to NXT TakeOver New York. The question is, are they going to hold off and give Walter the championship, or are they going to continue the NXT TakeOver, the NXT UK Championship reign of Pete Dunne? We'll talk about that and in the predictions tomorrow when you guys will see that video. Earlier in the day, though, this was interesting. We catch up with Candice LeRae entering the building, ask about TakeOver and Johnny Gargano. She talks about how proud she is about Gargano, but it reminds her how much she wants to be a champion as well. If you remember, if anybody's actually listening to these, a couple months ago, I pitched that this TakeOver, if everything would have worked as big as it should, if they would have had Candice LeRae in the title picture like I figured they should have, and Tommaso Ciampa does not have to go away for neck surgery and isn't injured, the final picture of the night would have seen Candice LeRae beat Shayna Baszler, Johnny Gargano to beat Tommaso Ciampa, husband and wife at the end of the night, hugging, embracing in the middle of the ring, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit style, holding up both championships as a defeated Tommaso Ciampa was looking from the ramp. That would have been the way I would have ended it, but that's not what happened. Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah come up and basically say she's not cut out to be a champion and only knows about failure. Just like Gargano. Stokely Hathaway makes an appearance in the background for some reason. LeRae says she's fully plans on earning her title shot by beating the Aaliyah's bougie ass or something, she said like that, and heads off. The interviewers ask, are you going to take that from Candice? And they're like, no, she's not going to take this from Candice. Aaliyah says she's going to she's going to throw a fit, and then she heads off, and of course Vanessa Bourne goes with her. So could Candice LeRae be the challenger to the next, because the next TakeOver is going to be in, I believe, June or July. So that should be great to see that TakeOver. That's going to be a standalone TakeOver. And will Candice LeRae be the challenger to the winner of the NXT Women's Championship coming out of TakeOver? And if that is the case, then it honestly tells you who's going to win the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver New York. We'll go over that tomorrow. Jackson Ryker with Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler versus Oni Lorcan with Danny Burch. Not a long match here. All the matches on this show tonight weren't long at all, but of course this was a lot more competitive than the two jobber matches for the War Raiders. Stopped by Lorcan, tries for a shoulder block but doesn't have any luck, bringing Ryker down. Lorcan gets dropped to the mat, then hung out to dry over the top rope. Lorcan rolls out of the ring. Blake and Cutler head over, but Burch keeps them away. Ryker looks to suplex Lorcan back in. No luck. So he puts Lorcan over the top rope and clubs away on his back. And you can hear those clubbing blows, and I believe Marvin Aller mentioned it, like the sound coming off of Lorcan's back when he was hitting him. Back in the ring, got busted on Lorcan, pinned for a 2 count. Ryker with a big knee to the stomach, double chop to the midsection. Lorcan tries for a sunset flip, gets pulled up by his ears and put into a bear hug. Lorcan slowly works his way out of it and swings away with punches and chops, running European uppercut, running elbows in the corner, goes for a third one, and gets nailed with a lariat. Ryker hits a modified sit-out powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. And that was that. This could actually be Oni Lorcan's last episode of NXT because he has been promoted to 205 Live. And they could just have some kind of thing on YouTube where him and Danny Burch part ways amicably. Danny Burch stays in NXT UK. He goes to 205 Live, and this is the last time we see this partnership. Who knows? Maybe that video is already posted. I have no idea. But the fact that Oni Lorcan is on 205 Live now, there's really no reason to keep these two together in NXT. We see the vignette for Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole for the 2 out of 3 falls match for the vacant NXT Championship after Tommaso Ciampa had to relinquish the belt, the undergoing neck surgery. It is definitely a great package. Like, to anybody who wonders where the guys who did the Kurt Angle video package come from, you just have to look at NXT. Anybody who's doing these great video packages need to have a raise. The Kurt Angle one on Monday, the ones they did tonight for the Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle, the one they did here for Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, and I believe they did one more, could be wrong, but anytime you see these video packages, these hype videos, they are just absolutely amazing. And whoever is getting these should get a raise because they bet you are not getting as paid as much as they should. We take a look then, of course, they said, and this, I hate when they do this because it seems like every time they want to do a video package, it's like, oh, they show Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane getting ready for the main event tonight, and Nigel McGuinness is like, and that match is next. We go to commercial, we come back, and it's not next because we go to a look at the upcoming North American Championship match at TakeOver with the Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Going back to Royal Rumble weekend where Dream won the Worlds Collide tournament and a title shot for his choice, Dream would end up picking Gargano and defeating him in an episode of NXT for the title. Riddle says that when he watched Dream win that title, he saw an opportunity. Dream wants to know what you did to earn the Dream's attention. And the fact that Dream saying your name was a big deal for Matt Riddle. And Riddle said he knows Dream loves the spotlight. And if he's in the ring with him, he's in the biggest spotlight there is. Cannot wait for this match. I'll talk about it in my predictions tomorrow. What my thoughts are on this match and where we will go from there. 5 weeks ago, this one came up. Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic wrestled to a double countout. This was actually supposed to be the first week instead of these tapings when they made the fatal 5-way. This match was supposed to happen. The rematch was supposed to happen on that week. Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic wrestled to a double countout. A week later, Performance Center, the two jobs at each other about another rematch. NXT cameras caught up with Lee to ask about a rematch. Lee said he showed up for a conclusion to the feud, but they got bumped. Lee says he was first in line for the NXT up at NXT GM room in the office to figure out when the rematch will go down, and it will happen in 2 weeks. So it won't be happening at TakeOver, which is Friday, or the Aftermath show, which is next week. So it's going to happen on the next set of tapings. So if you have tickets or you're going to the next set of NXT tapings, be prepared for Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic 2, which should have a no count out stipulation on it, so we can at least have something happen. Maybe it goes to a DQ. And I have a feeling if everything would have went right, these two would have been at NXT TakeOver, but they're not. So I have a feeling the next TakeOver before Toronto, we're going to see a Dominic Dijakovic versus Keith Lee match. I could be wrong, but in 2 weeks, if you're going to the tapings next Wednesday or next Thursday, whichever one it is, you should be prepared for Dominic Dijakovic versus Keith Lee, because they said it's going to be happening in 2 weeks. That means it's happening next Wednesday at the tapings. Next week, the Street Profits versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel, and also Candice LeRae will face Aaliyah at the Aftermath show. So those will be taped this Friday before NXT TakeOver New York. So anybody going there, at least you're going to get to see Candice Wrestling take on Aaliyah in the Street Profits versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel. Can't wait for those matches. Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane. This was a damn good match between these two, but of course, as I said it earlier, this match went to a no contest. Let's see here. Belair meant to stay up on the turnbuckle, hitting a suplex, standing moonsault, ducks a back fist, and hits a double chicken wing slam on Sane. She starts hyping up, she's swinging her hair around, and all of a sudden Shayna Baszler comes out of nowhere and beats the hell out of her. And Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir attack Sane. Io Shirai heads up there, and there's a massive brawl as the referees try to break things up. Everybody in the women's locker room run out to the ring and separate all four superstars. Back in the ring, Belair military presses Lacey Lane out of the ring onto all the women out there. Shirai ends up knocking Belair out, and she falls out of the ring. Then she goes up, hits a picture-perfect moonsault onto the group of the women, and Shirai. This is something there's a saying in sports. Because I believe right before the Super Bowl, there is a ceremony. There's like they have the awards or whatever, or like some kind of dinner or something, and they have the Lombardi Trophy at that awards at that place where the Super Bowl, where the two teams can see the trophy before they go play the Super Bowl. And it was a couple years ago. I don't remember what team it was, but one of the guys was like, "Don't touch that. Don't touch it. We don't deserve that until we win it." You should not touch the championship until you get the 1, 2, 3, the tap out, or you're pulling it down, or whatever the stipulation is. You do not touch the championship until you win the title. This telegraphs that Io Shirai is not winning the championship at NXT TakeOver New York. I could be totally wrong, but she goes over, grabs the championship, gets in the ring, and holds it up as the crowd cheers. And then she holds it against her chest as if everything as it's going to be hers. You don't do that. You don't grab the championship until you've won the prize. It's just common knowledge. Now people are like, oh well, Jinder Mahal did it because, well, yeah, that was a different story because we all knew Jinder Mahal was going into that Backlash pay-per-view to win the championship. This fatal four-way going into Takeover is a toss-up, and I still want to know if it's going to be a ladder match because if you go to NXT's Twitter account, they have the picture, the whatever that thing is, the back picture, and it has Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano on one side, and it has the fatal four-way, but under them in the New York skyline is a bunch of ladders, but it hasn't been named a ladder match yet, so I don't know what's going on there. Why would you put ladders in that picture if there's no ladder match? We'll have to wait and see. I'll talk about it tomorrow on the NXT TakeOver New York preview and predictions. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Not a bad show at all. It is a typical NXT pre-WrestleMania, pre-TakeOver show. Not a problem with it. Gets to show off some people who may be on TakeOver eventually. It's like Jackson Riker and of course, only looking at Danny Merch were there before. Maybe the Forgotten Sons will be there eventually. Maybe the Forgotten Sons. I'm gonna say this right now. Maybe the Forgotten Sons are going to be part of the next War Games match later in the year. War Games has been announced a couple weeks ago on Raw as being coming this November on Survivor Series weekend. So what if the Forgotten Sons are part of that match? It'd be a big deal for them. We'll have to wait and see. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Thank you to everybody who watched my Raw and SmackDown reviews. If you haven't yet, go check those out. I'll be here tomorrow for an NXT TakeOver New York preview and predictions. Friday for WrestleMania. And Saturday, we'll have it unscripted. Well, Friday is going to be WrestleMania, and then we're going to have predictions. Then we're going to have TakeOver. Saturday, we're going to have it unscripted. Sunday for WrestleMania, and back to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT next week. So then, my name is Franz. You guys have a good one, and I will see you guys tomorrow.